This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Good Wednesday morning to you. It is a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, Sirius XM Channel 158. Gil Alexander, Kelly Midland.
Heyo.
In the house.
How we doing? Good morning.
I've been here for a long time. What are you talking about?
Oh, this was a Gil Alexander special this morning.
Sprinting across the sports book.
At one point, I turned to Danny about 12 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, how exactly is he doing all this and going to get here on time?
That's
You're
right.
like sending graphics in like 10 minutes
I haven't texted him the last one. I have to do it after this segment. What we were referring to is most wins in May, Major League Baseball alert. We have it at Caesars. First of all, Eric Biggio, shout out to Eric Biggio over at Caesars, William Hill. They were the first to put it out for the month of May. And then Circa. Circa giving us 48 hours to bet it.
Quick for them, right?
Usually they go 24.
Yeah. Well, okay, I like it. Good job, Circa.
But we wanted to get the segment on, so we scrambled. It's a lot to go through 30 teams.
I don't
try to analyze.
I don't think DraftKings has it up.
Slackers.
Yeah, I don't see a DraftKings.
Slackers. Anyway, we'll get into it with I should say also an update of March, April, which we're down to 2 teams for April only, Braves and Padres.
Okay.
That's it. So if you have the Braves or Padres for April only, it's Circa good on you. And for March, April, by the way, here are the April most standings. Didn't think we were going to put those up yet, but here we go. Braves 18-6, Padres 18-7. That's it for April only. And the reason for it only being those 2 teams is because the Padres, we actually have that reversed. Padres actually only have 1 game left. We have changed where the Padres are listed there and the Braves are listed. The Padres are actually 18-6, Braves are 18-7. So those are the only teams for April. March, April, our Redlegs with 2 days left. We can still dead heat this. It's very simple. After the Dodgers lost last night, Reds have to win out 2-0 today and tomorrow. Easier said than done against the Rockies these days. And the Braves have to go 0-2. The good news is the Braves do face Tarek Skubal today.
Okay.
So we could very well be alive in this on April 30th. Let's just put it that way.
Let's go.
Let's just do this one game, one day at a time.
Step up, Skubal.
Those are the only 4 teams that are left in March, April. It's the Braves, it's the Dodgers, it's the Yankees, it's the Reds. Dodgers and Yankees can only dead heat 2 because they only have 1 game left. So there's that. We'll get into May coming up on the show. Mike Somich, not only on the Derby, but on the NHL as well. Look forward to that. Todd Wishnev on Major League Baseball. Paul Sporer on Major League Baseball. Nick Whalen on the NBA playoffs. And let's do some NFL today.
Yeah, man.
Let's do it.
A little most and fewest wins.
Yeah.
After the draft. And it does feel like it's becoming clearer about, as you and I like, maybe the top's always tough, but who the real crap teams are and who we can maybe bet on in that market.
The fewest one is so perfectly priced at the very, let's call it top, but really the bottom, if you know what I mean. Yeah. But I have a team for each.
There's a couple chasers I've got
a team for each. By the way, I don't know that the draft affected it at all.
I don't know that it really did either, except I do think it affected odds.
It may have affected odds. It wouldn't have affected any odds in my view, right? But I think there is a value play for each, for most wins and fewest wins in the National Football League. We'll do it. Of course, we start with the National Basketball Association. They associate with each other, and this was I don't know what you call this. I don't know what you call this night in the NBA.
The most boring night of the NBA playoffs so far?
Well, the first game wasn't that boring. It was kind of just like another head scratcher for these Boston Celtics, who we've been saying this about for years. It's like they are so capable of these clunker games, and they've done it twice in this series now. After an early 6-point lead, Celtics led by 2 at the end of the first quarter, led by as many as 10 in the second. Sixers would get within 2, but the Celtics bounced it back at the end of the quarter. They led by 7 at the half. At halftime, both teams combined for 11 of 42 from 3. But the Sixers were establishing Joel Embiid, who had 15 at the break. Third quarter, Celtics got up 13, 63-50. And the Sixers went on a 15-3 run to cut it to 1. The C's got it back up to an 8-point lead. That's how the cool kids in Boston call the Celtics, the C's. It's the B's and the
right.
C's. The Bruins and the Celtics. 81-73, but the Sixers closed the quarter on a 12-5 run to cut it to 86-85 headed in the fourth. So you're like, wow, Sixers really hanging tough. 86-85. And all they kept doing, this is, Kelly and I said this last week. I think I may have said that, you jumped on and agreed. We really, when Embiid hadn't yet played in this series, I remember saying, this would have really been good to see Embiid on the court against the Celtics, see what we would get here. Well, last night, they just fed him. He did whatever he wanted. Fourth quarter, all Sixers. They led from the first bucket that put them up 88-86 to the end of the game. At 97-94 Sixers, Philly went on a 12-0 run that put the game out of reach. 109-104 with 2:25 left. And just like in the earlier game in this series that they lost, there was no response from the Celtics down the stretch. They just waved the white flag, basically. Celtics would only score 3 points the rest of the way, 11 total in the quarter, getting outscored 28-11 in the final 12, 28-11, pardon me, in the final 12 minutes. Sixers led by as many as 17. Remember, they were down 13 in the third quarter. Win by 16, 113-97. And the total, because of that 11-point performance from the Celtics in the fourth, I had the over in the contest.
Me too.
Sorry.
Yeah, me too. That stunk.
Betting the NBA is fun.
14 shots they missed to close out the game.
God. Basketball,
14.
This baloncesto is a very simple sport sometimes. You just got to put the orange sphere into the orange cylinder.
Like, Gil, I don't want to overreact, but, like, Joel Embiid looked good. This is a team and now a core with Embiid back.
Great.
You can't mess around with. And like we've talked about these, like, Celtics, okay, that's fine. They can have this one. But guess what? They could even have one more. But you can't shoot sub 30% from three and rely on that.
Embiid finishes,
you're going to get burned otherwise.
Embiid finishes with 33, and Maxey the quietest 25-10 you'll ever see.
Yep.
Celtics end up 40.4% for the field, only 28.2% from three, 11 for 39. But as you said the other day, though, Kelly, just like you could say, well, God, the Celtics, I mean, they've had two more of these clunkers, and Embiid does what he wants, they're done. Yeah, but they can have one game then where they hit 23 of those.
Absolutely.
And then it's over, too.
Absolutely.
That is the Boston Celtics. It has been the Boston Celtics for this period of modern history, and it will continue to be the Boston Celtics. They ain't changing.
Derek White, another bad shooting night. Over 4 from 3. He has had a rough shooting season.
That was the most watchable of the games. The other two, Hawks led 4-2 against the Knicks, and that was that. Knicks led by 13 end of first, by as many as 22 in the second, by 16 at the half, by 18 after 3, led by as many as 32, win by 29. 126-97, Jalen Brunson, 39 for the Knickerbockers, who shot 57% for the field and had a 48-27 rebounding advantage over the Hawks, and they take a 3-2 lead. By the way, Celtics still lead that other series, the 2-7 in the East, 3-2 now as they head back to Philly for Game 6. We go back to Atlanta with the Knicks up 3-2. So basically these two series now in the same situation. On serve, if you will. On serve.
This one should be over already. Knicks blowing that game in Game 2. That was bad. I think this was example last night of you're seeing finally the talent separation with these two teams. Brunson had a big game. They finally figured out these past 3 games. It's cat. Like they can't keep you off the glass. You keep getting second chance opportunities. He didn't even take that many shots last night. Only 7.
I'm laughing though because would it shock you if this went to 7? Wouldn't shock me.
No.
And then the last game, the Trail Blase, their season ends as the Spurs become the second team to advance the second round. Obviously, OKC with the sweep of the Suns. But the Spurs win in 5, led by as many as 15 in the first quarter. I mean, this one was over from the start, too. Yeah. By 12 at the end of the first, led by as many as 28 in the second, by 20 at the half. Led by as many as 26 in the third, by 21 at the end of the third. And then there was a run. There was a Blazers run, a 17-5 run to start the fourth that actually cut the lead to 9.
Yeah.
91-82 with 8 minutes left, including a 9-0 run from 91-73 to 91-82, but it wouldn't get any closer. Spurs would win it from there, 114-95. Denny Avdia in his final game of his best season thus far, 22 in defeat. 6 Spurs in double figures. Fox with 21 led the way. Victor Wembanyama, talking about just taking 7 shots. Wembanyama was like, I'm not going to do this on offense tonight. I'm just going to take 7 shots. 17 points, 14 boards, 6 blocks.
Yep. No, and that's big time. I think that's look, this is one of those games we talk about often, right? Like, got to 9, was never that. Like, this was not a close game, right?
No.
Never a close game from the beginning. Great to see, though. I think if you're a Spurs backer, Spurs fan, just the scoring spread out, right? Not have to rely on Victor Wembanyama to do a ton offensively, because you should be able to get this type of production from De'Aaron Fox, from Dylan Harper, 17 off the bench from him. You got 15 from Castle. Nice spread around scoring, and they're going to need that down the stretch here.
All right. Well, we got another triple header tonight. Another triple contest picks need to be made.
Yes, sir.
If you have any left,
I got
someone check on
3
Mark
or 4.
Lawrence. Someone check on Mark Lawrence. Maybe I hope he's okay.
Me too.
Yeah, 'cause he stopped the middle here. Triple header tonight. You have anything that sticks out? Once again, the triple header with Game 6. This is huge tonight.
Yeah.
Game 6. Excuse me. Yeah, Game 6 between the Magic and the Pistons. Is that Game 6? No, it's Game 5. Pardon me. Game 5. Magic up 3-1 in this series. The proverbial must-win for the Pistons, who are 10-point favorites. Raptors Cavs is Game 5 back in Cleveland. Cavs are 9-point favorites. Another big spread. And then the Rockets and the Lakers. Rockets trying to make history, trying to be the first team ever in the history of the NBA to come back from a 3-0 deficit. They're down 3-1 now in a best-of-7 series, but no KD again. Lakers favored by 4.
Yeah, big injury watch day, right? This is, you'd hate to say it, we're in the playoffs, but Austin Reeves questionable for this game tonight. I think that's going to matter a lot. Look, if he go, I don't think this is one I'm going to end up betting, Gil. If he goes, probably, I think I lean Lakers closing this out tonight. I think they get it done. Magic Pistons, man, that's another one. Franz getting hurt the other night. We'll see if he goes or not tonight. Man, either way, though, 10 points against an offensive struggle Detroit Pistons team? I might end up on that side.
That's the one I like the best, Magic plus 10.
And then Cavs, I'll talk about more. I'm going to be on the Cavs tonight.
Really?
Yes.
3 Game 5s. Where's that 3 Games 5? That always sounds awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tonight in the NBA. Coming back on a numbers game right here at VSiN.
Get VSiN Pro for just $9.99 for your first 30 days and start betting with the edge serious bettors rely on every day. Access expert picks, real-time odds, and actionable insights across every major sport. Plus, get player prop projections powered by Opta AI, daily picks delivered straight to your inbox, and betting guides for every major sporting event. Visit VSiN.com/subscribe for just $9.99 and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, a network of sports betting analysts, writers, hosts, and handicappers, all here to help you become a more confident bettor. We broadcast live every day from Las Vegas, the sports betting capital of the world, and from studios across the country, giving you insight from every angle of the action. Take VSiN with you wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app, or catch us on streaming platforms and regional sports networks. You can also listen live on SiriusXM Channel 158 and on radio stations nationwide. Check out VSiN.com as well for betting tools, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered player prop projections from Opta, pro picks for every game, plus in-depth betting guides and articles built to give you an edge. From sharp betting analysis and daily best bets to insider interviews and expert breakdowns, VSiN is your trusted source for everything happening in the world of sports betting. See everything we have to offer at VSiN.com and become part of the Sports Betting Network.
Coming up on a hump day edition of Money Moves, we've got a great guest list for you. Kelly Bidlin of Long Shots and a Numbers Game is going to join us. Take a look at some of the best bets for the Cadillac Championship coming up this weekend. Sean Powell of NBA.com will be on the program as well. Will the Orlando Magic play the song on Wednesday and eliminate the Detroit Pistons? We'll also have the latest on the Franz Wagner injury and its impact on player props for that game. So you're not going to want to miss that and more. It's Money Moves, 11-1 Pacific, 2 to 4 Eastern, only on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Don't forget about the website in full effect mode, VSiN.com. NFL Draft, of course, behind us. Now we got the Kentucky Derby betting guide that's available there. Wes Reynolds' Cadillac Championship preview. Greg Peterson's MLB best bets. And coming later today, Zach Cohen's NBA best bets. Jonathan Davis's best NHL plays and props. And Steve Makinen's NBA analytics report. Become a VSiN Pro today. Get access to the Belmont Stakes on June 6th with the Triple Crown Special for just $14.99. You can see all subscription options at VSiN.com/subscribe. VSiN subscribers, I gave out 2 tennis picks yesterday, not even last night, yesterday late afternoon. Mm-hmm. And it is the Madrid Open, second run-up to Roland Garros in terms of the 1,000s. Obviously, they go to Rome. Maybe not so obviously for folks, but it goes from Madrid to Rome. Then they take really a week of minor tournaments before Roland Garros, the French Open. I am on Rafa Hodar against Jannik Sinner here. I'm on Rafa Hodar at plus 575. And that's the money line. And I took him plus 4.5 games at plus 104 versus Jannik Sinner. Now, subscribers got that. For those who want to join in on that, this match just started. You can get in match here. Hodar just served to start the match. He held serve, so it is 1-love Hodar. This just started. So Kelly, if you're also wondering, like, wait a minute, don't you have Sinner to win the French Open? Yes. So here's the bet here is this with Hodar against Sinner. His clay numbers are through the roof. It's like I said the other day. It's like peak ego on the men's side. Right. Rafa Hodar. Through the roof. But he's never faced a player like Sinner before. He's never been on this stage before. The question becomes on the bet. The reason that Rafa Hodar, based on numbers, should be nowhere close to plus 575. Nowhere close to that number. If people actually are aware of tennis data. But it's the stage, right? Like he's never faced. This is a step up in competition.
Sure.
But I rely on data, and that's a play for me. And so at that number, you have to play it. I think he can beat Sinner here, and I think that gets Sinner angry, and then Sinner beats him if necessary at the French Open.
Hey, it sounds good to me, Gil. It sounds good to me.
As long as Sinner can win at the French, you're good. This kid is incredible, by the way. Incredible. Anyway, that's the play today. Plus 575 on Hodar. Plus 4.5 games as a sort of fail-safe to protect the money line in case the stage ended up being too big for him.
Jam-packed arena in Madrid.
Are you joking?
No, I'm being dead serious, actually.
Yeah, no.
Usually I am making that joke when we're sitting here in the morning about European tennis tournaments.
Well, the beauty of these tennis tournaments, I always say, if we ever had our choice of going a numbers game on a road, it would have to be Monte Carlo, Madrid, Rome, Paris. Have to be all these. And you have to, here's the thing, Kelly. We can't come to these matches like American schlubs wearing our sweatshirts. We have to dress up for these.
We're going to the finest designers beforehand. We're walking in looking sharp.
That's right.
Like what are their names? Harry and Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber. We're gonna be looking real sharp.
I thought you meant like Warren Sharp. I was like, that's interesting. You wanted to say something else about the Cavs before we
Cavs, I'm going to be on tonight. I bet them first half laying 4.5 coming back home tonight. Look, absolute disaster in Toronto for them. I think, though, we're looking at a series where Toronto has thrown everything they can at Cleveland. They were scrambling for answers in Game 3, switching up lineups. Pirtle trying to figure out if he can be on the court, has to be off the court. I think they got away with some stuff here, especially in Game 4, being able to survive. Ton of turnovers by James Harden. Yes, we are seeing the bad James Harden. I think get back at Cleveland, though, this team gets things back under control. I think kind of like the Detroit game, though. Man, the 8.5, 9, and it was – I sat there all day yesterday. I said it on the show. Do you know how many times I looked at an odds screen yesterday, and I'm like, Knicks, 6.5. Move. Give me a 6. Just like never.
You even talked about that on the show yesterday.
I know. It never moved all damn day. I checked the odds screen. So today I was doing the same thing with the Cavs last night. I'm like, a lot of 8.5. So if this gets to 8 or below that, I'm going to be in on the Cavs. And of course, first segment, I pull up my odds screen and everything's moving to 9, 9.5 on this game. So I played team total over. That was the other way I was considering this. It's a lot of points to lay anyways. I'm going to go team total over 113.5 on the Cavs. So that's what I did for full game. Laid the 4.5 in the first half with Cleveland, expecting a much better response for them at home, especially early.
Do we have the Killer Sports Bracket Challenge? Why do I keep saying bracket? Killer Sports VSiN Challenge. 15 handicappers in the NBA. Again, 20 ATS pre-flop or full game total picks in the first round. must be completed. Then it's 10 in the second round, 5, and then 3. You can follow this at contest.killersports.com. And right now, those are your standings. So we flash them up on the screen. JVT right there in the rear view. Look at him.
It's a strong leaderboard, man.
Zach's the man to beat. No question. Zach Cohen is the sneaky, freaky brother sneaking in from the rear at 10 and 6.
Yeah,
exactly
man.
who he is.
Got contest champ Steve Fezzik.
Yeah.
7 and 9.
Always in the mix, that kid.
Noops. We'll have to get him on the show at some point. Always love talking with
on
Noops.
there. Yeah.
Especially he does tennis, too. Tennis and NBA.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Oh, what are we waiting for?
I don't know.
Producer error.
Drew Dinsick and Kelly Bidlin should be better. I expect better out of those two.
I don't know. We should interview those two guys about it next time.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's early.
Yeah. If I do it, it
Not
sounds
really.
like I'm gloating about it. So that's why it's awkward. I can't really.
Oh yeah. Hey, you know what? You know what though, Gil? I think this was the same last year. I had a good first round last year. This is bad this year. But hey, for anybody who wants to follow along, this is a very accurate depiction of how my betting's been going for the first round. So, yeah.
Contest.killersports.com is where you can follow that. We don't usually talk about two things that aren't happening on the playing field or the playing court, but two things happened yesterday that do have, we do have betting thoughts, or at least our betting behavior thoughts. One was the NCAA initiating the final steps. I love when they throw it out there. It's done. You guys can't do anything about it anymore.
Right.
They're going to 76 teams in the NCAA tournament, men's and women's. That's going to mean more games on the opening Tuesday and Wednesday. 76 teams now, up from the 68, including the play-ins from before. At some point, we're just going to have every team in D1 playing, and the regular season is going to mean nothing at all. But from our betting behavior standpoint, like my first reaction is, Jesus, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like literally no one wants this. But then I'm thinking to myself, does it in any way impact my Survivor week? Or if you could do brackets, does it impact that at all? Probably not. We're all going to wait till the deadline on Thursday anyway.
It's just like, but my immediate reaction to, does it affect my life every day? No. But like college sports fans, like I get it. Like it started with college football already.
Yeah.
And for someone like me, we've talked about this a lot before with college football. Like watching college football. I love watching college football. But like now the way you've set up this playoffs, every Saturday, I'm like, meh, there's less and less of a reason for me to watch these games because, like, these teams are going to be there at the end anyway.
Did you make that noise?
Meh. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing with this, right? Like, I'm like, I feel like everybody was going crazy about the 500 SEC teams that, like, they should not be in the tournament. They're like, well, this is clearly just a rule change to make sure those teams get in, right? And we don't have to have those arguments anymore.
We're not gonna. It's just it'll lessen arguments. We're not gonna argue over 76 and 77, are we? Like, are we really gonna?
But this is power conferences shoving the NCAA around at this point, right?
I would think that they would act like it's not for that. That they would act like it's it's for much. It's for If you're complaining about that, now be more of your teams coming, mid majors coming in. But I think you're right.
The other one, I guess, how does it affect the tournament? Because who did I see? I heard. I think it was Wilbon say this way, and I agree with him. If you're telling me it's just like 4 more play-in games like early in that week before the tournament?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
That's fine. I don't really care if that's what we're really talking about.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. It's a break point for Sinner early here. We don't like to see that. There you go, Rafa. Staves that off.
Oh, no.
I'm not going to be distracted by that screen at all. And then the other huge thing that happened was the NBA has gone full-bore anti-tanking.
Yeah, man.
Full-bore anti-tanking where, look, they're calling it the 3-2-1 system. So essentially, the real big point about it is that if you end up 4th through 10th worst, you get 3 ping pong balls. But if you end up 1, 2, or 3 worst, meaning the worst, the second worst, or the third worst, you only get 2 ping pong balls, not 3 ping pong balls. Then the losers of the play-ins, the losers of the ones that end up 9 and 10, if you will, if I have that right, end up with 2 ping pong balls. But the loser of the 7/8s get 1 ping pong ball.
I don't even know where you want to start.
In other words, the first team out of the playoffs.
Right.
I said that wrong. So the best team that doesn't make the playoffs gets 1 ping pong.
Yeah, you're okay. You're okay, Gil, because this just goes back to what you and I have talked about a month ago or whatever it was, of like, if you can't easily explain what your rule change is to a sports fan of any level, this is too much. This is too much. And then there's like, I don't know. I just think we've swung too far the other way. Like there is, now they have left it open for this to be readdressed in a couple years down the road. But like there's a possibility drafts are put in place to help terrible teams get better. There's a chance under these rules, some terrible teams could stay terrible. And then I think my biggest problem with this one is, okay, why aren't we gonna? Teams are just gonna tank to get in the 10th spot, and then people are like, well, in the play-in tournament, you can't possibly tank out of the play-in tournament. If I'm staring at the Victor Wembanyama-led Spurs in the 1 seed, and I think I've got no shot, sure I could tank out of the play-in tournament.
Kelly's gonna let me comment on it after the break as well. I got a bigger problem with it. Little note later in the description. Coming up, numbers game right here at VSiN.
Time. There's nothing more valuable. It's what drives everyone to make the most of every moment. We celebrate living large in the now. In a city where time disappears, we create experiences that electrify the soul and memories that will last forever. We go big. We go all night. And here, everyone is invited. So get loose and get loud.
This is Circa. You'll have the time of your life.
Laptop or phone, couch or sportsbook, VSiN goes where you go. Wherever you watch VSiN, the experience stays seamless. Live shows, replays, and sports-specific clips all at your fingertips. VSiN Watch puts you in the driver's seat. Available in Roku, Samsung, Amazon, iOS, Android, app stores, or get it direct from the source at VSiN.com. Download VSiN Watch today on your favorite app store and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Numbers Game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Back on a Numbers Game live from Circa Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. Gil Alexander, Kelly Bidlin. We get tweets, beating the book, James Fraction. Hey, Gil, took your advice on Sinner last week. I was able to get him at plus 130 to win the French. Muchas gracias, he says. I noticed that Sinner, I think he should say, you shouldn't speak the Spanish. You were talking about the French Open, right? I noticed that Sinner is playing Hodar today. I'd love your thoughts on that matchup and Hodar's pre-draw prospects at the French Open. I just talked about it a little bit. With Carlitos out, he's the only other player that could possibly beat Sinner. And I don't even think that will happen on the biggest stage. But I do have him at plus 575 today because that price is ridiculoso. This is from... Thank you. This is from Ray in Texas. Sophisticated voice. He says, we need the segment with Drew Dinsick to be called Sophistication Segment with Drew. I picture his life as caviar, cross-legged, and loafers on. How does that guy's life suck at all? Guaranteed he doesn't use anything generic. He does not. Jesse Welch. Hey, Kelly, I have a suggestion for your AARP segment of the day. How about we list off the top 8 breakfast diner chains that offer senior discounts? I think we'd take that one real slow, he said. Well, thanks for catching that. I was like, hey, could you do that slower, Kelly? Roger Jones. Morning, guys. 2 questions for Samo Bomb when he comes on, time host permitting. One, a general question. How do you feel about fixed odds wagering? Have you tried it? In the current climate of computer-assisted wagering, rates, seeing the effective takeout late odds drops is? I don't even know. It's horse talk.
It sounds like a smart question.
It does. We'll absolutely do it.
Because I like fixed odds betting because I understand it.
Every sports bettor before the Derby. Hey, how much do we win if this horse wins? We don't really know.
We don't know yet.
I forgot about that. Keith Fortier. Discussion of May wins for MLB today up at Circa, looking at Padres, Tigers, Brewers, and Rangers. We will discuss that coming up on the show. And then Mike Rouse also has a question for Samo Bomb. If he owned a Derby-worthy contender, what would be the name of his horse? Okay. And then Brendan says, lost all 6 NBA bets yesterday. Betting NBA is the worst. That's what I said about the losing the Celtics over. I'm like, how do you people bet this 82 games a year? It's ridiculous. So we bring in our buddy Nick Whalen for this. Nick is the co-host of Prop Points, which comes on after this show, which he does with Jeff Erickson Monday through Friday here on the network. You can follow Nick on Twitter at Whalen, but substitute the number 1 for the letter L. Nick, good morning to you, sir.
Morning, guys. Thank you once again, Gil, for suffering through reading the Twitter handle. I think somebody tweeted at us after my spot last week and said my Twitter handle is, quote, an atrocity.
Wow.
Which I don't necessarily disagree with.
Was it Matt Brown?
An atrocity.
I still can't get it.
No, it wasn't Matt Brown. It was some name I was not familiar with. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if some other VSiN hosts that have had to deal with this chime in as well.
I did not realize Matt Brown has a massive issue with Nick's Twitter handle.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Doesn't think the 1 in place of an L it makes sense at all.
Okay, Matt Brown M2.
Master of the Twitter handles.
Oh, good to know, guys.
Yeah.
I love the
good to know.
I love that he said someone said atrocity to describe a Twitter handle. I'm not sure that is what's the Stereotor line? I'm not sure that elevates to the level of an atrocity. Yeah. All right, so just real quick before we get to the games tonight here, Nick, and your thoughts on the playoffs. We were just talking about this anti-tanking stuff, and I just wanted to highlight this one thing because this drives me crazy. We talked about it again for those who missed it. There's sort of this, they're calling it relegation. It's not really relegation, but essentially they're trying to incentivize the teams that are first, second, or third worst to win games at the end. They're trying to incentivize the teams that are fourth, fifth, and sixth worst not to lose, so they stay out of the 1, 2, 3, right? They got this whole system. But there's this one clause of this that's driving me crazy. You ready for this, Kelly?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The league would also have expanded disciplinary authority to regulate tanking and have the option to reduce lottery odds and or modify draft positions for teams under the proposal.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
This is just like that 65-game thing. It's like, hey, these are our rules until we decide it's not.
And in 2 years, we can blow up the whole thing. But yes, that's even the more important
But in the interim, it's
in the interim.
So what are we doing if you can?
Here are the rules, but they're not really the rules.
Nick, what say you?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up that clause, which was kind of buried, I think, in what was an extensive release yesterday by the NBA, which to me, that just means Adam Silver has like carte blanche to just say, you know what, I don't think you did this ethically enough, Utah Jazz. You may have drawn the 4th pick in the lottery, but I'm going to manually move you down to the 8th pick. Like that's where it feels like we're heading. And obviously I'm joking here, but like 3 years from now, are we going to have a live TV special where Adam Silver just personally reveals the lottery based on how ethically he thinks every team handled the season? It's ridiculous, guys. This is all so short-sighted. There's going to be a ton of unintended consequences here. We've talked about this before. Like, wherever you draw the line, there's going to be teams that are going to do what they can to get over that line. So now you don't want to be in the bottom 3, but you want to be in the 4 through 10 range. So we'll see teams win games early on, and then they'll make sure that they're positioned within that range. We can't save teams from just being bad drafters either. That's the other thing. Yeah. And I think this fixation on getting the number 1 overall pick is actually a little bit overrated. Like, obviously the number 1 pick has value. It's produced a ton of superstars. You could trade the pick. There are a ton of reasons why you want the number 1 overall pick. But if you look back, and I'm cherry picking a little bit here, guys, if you take the last 13 number 1 picks, over half of those have been what I would call busts. Like one of the best of that group would be Andrew Wiggins. And some of these guys are Markelle Fultz, Anthony Bennett, guys who have just been huge negatives to their franchise. DeAndre Ayton, another great example. I just think this is all a quick fix. It's something that I think Adam Silver and the league were really embarrassed by this season, the way the tanking narrative took over. It'll probably work to some degree, but I don't see this as any sort of permanent long-term solution by any means.
From a betting standpoint, and this is all we really care about, it will sort of erase Tankapalooza, right? Like that sure. does get thrown out the window. And the only other thing I want to add, and I want to move on to these games, but the only other thing I will add is, when we don't make this point enough, which is we also have to just recognize that inherent in the sport of basketball, it's unlike the others. It's unlike, in other words, a player, yes, if you have this like ridiculous stud quarterback, let's say, maybe a player can affect change in a way in the NFL, but by and large, one player can't have the impact in football, in baseball, as it can in basketball. And so because that's inherent in the sport, and there's only 5 guys on the court at one time, this is always going to exist to some extent. That's just the nature of the game, literally. So anyway, let's get to this triple header tonight. Do you have any plays on sides or totals, or are you going props?
It's more of a prop night for me outside of Raptors Cavs, where I do like Cleveland to cover the 8.5 at home. Home team has won and covered every game so far in this series. My first instinct beyond the spread was to lean over after that, to use a familiar term, atrocity that we witnessed on Sunday offensively between these two teams. You think there has to be kind of a bounce back coming offensively, but we'll see. I was digging in on some of the contested, uncontested shot numbers. Both of these teams are taking a ton of contested shots in this series, and they're actually hitting them at a much higher than expected clip. So ended up backing away a little bit on the total, but I do think we get a bounce back, at least for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Harden and Mitchell just have to be better than they were in these last 2 games in Toronto. Some just ridiculous turnovers, some ridiculous shots, I thought, by both of those guys in game 4. You'd like to think the Cavaliers could find a way to unlock Jared Allen. I think that's been kind of a low-key issue for them in this series. We saw a much better version of Jared Allen down the stretch in the regular season. Once James Harden showed up, all of a sudden he's giving you like 20 and 12 every single night. Feels like we're kind of back to the old Jared Allen now in this series. In terms of props for Cavs Raptors, guys, I do like Scotty Barnes over 26.5 points plus assists. He scored at least 21 points in all 4 games so far, has at least 5 assists in every game, even got to 6 on Sunday in a game where the Raptors missed 1 million open shots and shot 32% as a team. So I think we're getting a pretty solid number on him at that 26.5.
Okay, there we go with that game. Any props in the other 2 games tonight?
Magic Pistons is a really tough one. I don't get the sense that Franz Wagner is going to be out there. I know they're calling him questionable, but I think that 9.5 number in favor of Detroit probably implies that we don't see Wagner. But there's some interesting stuff going on in this series. I'm inclined to lean under once again, just based on how bad both of these teams have been offensively. It's actually been the second fastest paced series in the playoffs, which is a little bit surprising. But again, the offenses have been so terrible that it hasn't really mattered as far as higher scoring games. So I do lean under here. As far as Franz Wagner, if you're expecting him to be out tonight, Desmond Bane and Anthony Black tend to see the biggest boosts with Wagner off the court, but it's nothing too substantial. I would look at Desmond Bane perhaps over 19.5 points plus money right now over at DraftKings. Wouldn't really play anything on Anthony Black. His role has been a bit reduced in this series. I think you got to look at Tobias Harris as well, guys, who is now the clear number 2 option, I guess, for the Detroit Pistons. I would look at the over 16.5 points, minus 105 at BetMGM. He's had 17, 16, 23, and 20 points so far in this series. And that is with Tobias Harris, guys, shooting 3 of 20 on open and wide open threes so far in the series.
Jeez. All right, Nick, I close with a general question. I'm going to throw Denver, Minnesota off to the side because obviously Minnesota riddled with injury, so it'll make the answer easier. More likely, the most likely, let's say, to come back and win their respective series. Philly down 3-2 against Boston. Atlanta down 3-2 against the Knicks. Or Detroit down 3-1 against the Magic. I'm not gonna put Houston in there either.
Damn.
Those three.
I think the most likely to me is probably still Detroit, just because of this Wagner situation. I think that's a huge deal for the Orlando Magic. But I will tell you guys, in my heart, the situation that I hope happens the most is that Philly comes back and at least forces a Game 7 in Boston and puts all that pressure on the Celtics to win that game at home. With all the shooting variants that they've had in this series, I think that's probably the most fun scenario, but I'll still say Detroit, as bad as that team has looked so far.
If I didn't have a bet on the Celtics to get to the finals along with the Spurs, I would agree with you. But got to sock through my bet. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it.
Anytime.
VSiN's player prop projection tool is now available for the NBA. Get projections for points, assists, rebounds, and more powered by Opta AI. On VSiN.com/NBA props, we line up our projections against the latest DraftKings odds so you can quickly spot mismatches and find value before the market adjusts. The NBA player prop projections tool is available exclusively to VSiN Pro subscribers. Check it out now at VSiN.com/NBA props and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
Your favorite VSiN shows and personalities are now available to download as podcasts. Catch every hour of our live broadcast with VSiN Best Bets, or find your go-to show and download it directly. Get instant reactions to last night's games, sharp analysis on today's biggest matchups, and everything in between. Whether you're commuting, working out, or just catching up, VSiN lets you take the action with you wherever and whenever you want. Search VSiN on your favorite podcast platform and get in on the action with VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Numbers Game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Rafa Hodar had a break point against Yannick Sinner, but he hit the tape, so it gave Sinner just a easy smash back to win the point. And then Sinner goes on to break Hodar.
Wait, what's the tape? Like the lines?
No. In other words, he hit the top of the net.
Oh,
and so
okay.
the ball popped up in the air, so it was an easy stave off, in other words, for Sinner. Now Sinner up a break early 3-2 in a, preview of the French Open final without Carlitos playing. We shall see. Very early.
More ordering props for the show right now.
Ordering props?
Yep.
What kind of props?
Yellow and red cards.
Oh, this is for our listeners? You're getting angry at listeners?
This could be for listeners, for guests. Could be for a lot of people.
We get tweets, speaking of the book, Jesse Welch, shout out to Paul Carr, yes, on his handicap of PSG Bayern Munich yesterday. That game was exhilarating, and live betting the overs was like an ATM machine. 5-4 final. PSG.
It was incredible. I know you did it. Did you only do it once? I only did it once.
Live bet? I only did it once. I did it over 4.5 at even money, which cashed before halftime also.
It's nuts, man.
And then I was just like, then it was like 7. I'm like, nah, I can't go to 7.
Okay, can I? Maybe I could speak for you. It's soccer. I don't have the stones. I'm like, I don't know it like basketball and football. Like, is this really going to continue, or is someone just going to, put on the brakes? But man, it was easy winner by Paul Carr.
Easy peasy. First half winner. That's all it took. Less than the first half. Jason H11, the heck with the playoffs. Let's discuss Kelly's hair. Yeah, what's going on with that, man? I bring it up every day now, Jesse, but I think people...
It's just, it's got some length, know?
It gives you a totally different personality, though, that's for sure.
Does it?
Is it because there's no gel? That's right.
Yeah. Just very little product. I'm waiting for a sponsor to come on board and, then I'll use that product. No, I'm going to see Truman today. It might look extremely different tomorrow.
Chrissy Andrews, my mishpucha, who runs the South Point Hotel Casino Sportsbook, commenting on Mark Stein's tweet about the NBA's new proposed format for lottery reform, featuring draft relegation. Chrissy says, I'd like to see them abolish the draft. Want a good player? Run a good organization. There's a salary cap. Work within that. That goes for football, too. I'm dining with Gil tonight. The subject is likely to come up.
Thank you, Chris Andrews. I was just telling Gil this off air, too. I'm like, that's the pushback I got. I mean, it's not like I'm the first person to come up. We don't need a draft. All these kids are getting paid anyways. You have a salary cap, exactly what Chris just said. Every team knows how much they can spend. If you want to go approach a player about coming to the team, go do it. We don't need a draft.
Was that Chrissy just reminding me that I had dinner with him tonight? Did he think I forgot?
It sounded like it. Because when you first started, I was like, I didn't know Chris Andrews was going to care about the NBA lottery.
Breakpoint, Hodar. Nope.
It does, and like one other thing, like I was telling you off air, but you were really locked into this tennis match. I just think every one of these small changes, like it benefits the big market teams. Like it's going to be tougher for the smaller teams to rebuild through the draft. I think it attracts you already attract superstars to the bigger markets. I think the whole go back to LeBron Heat teams and these super teams of guys taking less money to come to better teams. I think that's going to be a trend that continues. I think this could snowball out of control.
I tell you, my buddy Steve Zabin, who used to be on Sporting News nationally and Yahoo, was the greatest. It was the greatest sports talk radio host in the history of Washington, D.C., in my opinion. He thinks there should be that draft wheel, that the 30 teams should just rotate. It should rotate. You get the first pick every 30 years.
Yeah.
It just goes. You go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 over a 30-year period. That's what he believes. So everybody's got an idea. Chuckism1 helped me understand this tweet. Maybe Kelly was late yesterday sticking pins in his Cooper Flag voodoo doll. He's late the day after Flag wins. I'm on to you, Kelly Bidlin.
See, this is where...
Oh, he's just a day.
Chuck, you're going to be one of the yellow cards today, okay? That's because I think he thinks Rookie of the Year was announced last night.
Yeah.
But no, it was 2 nights ago.
Or no, maybe he's saying you were late yesterday after the. I think that's what he meant. Chris Heath, so happy I grabbed the Celtics to win the East, minus 105 before yesterday's game. It was obviously the best time to buy in on them.
Hey, been there, Chris.
Been there, Chris. Sam Ginsburg. So if you're ever going on the road for VSiN, it's Rome, Paris, and Madrid. You realize you could have spent last week in Pittsburgh. Sure, they have history, culture, and great food. We have all that also. And one thing they all don't have, Wishnev. It's a good point. Let's talk some NFL, shall we?
Let's do it.
National Football League. Never too early. Best record, worst record. Is that what we're calling this? No, we're calling it most regular season wins. Let's be accurate. Most regular season wins, fewest regular season wins. So most regular season wins, the short shot, it's co-short shots. Rams and Ravens are both plus 850. Rams and Ravens both plus 850. Then it's the Seahawks, defending Super Bowl champions, at 10 to 1. Bills are 11 to 1. Lions 13 to 1. Packers 14 to 1. And then you see the rest there. Eagles, Chiefs 15 to 1. Everybody longer than that. I have a play.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, I know what yours is.
Yeah, come on. Everybody in the world. This is the actually just had the moment, Gil.
Kelly Bidlin telegraphing the pass every time.
Officially terrified of what AI could do to our industry and every industry, but like AI Kelly could handle this whole segment. Like, I don't need to be here. AI Kelly's got it. Bills 11 to 1? What? I'll be betting that. This was shocker. This was like 5 to 1, I think, last season. I don't really know what the huge differences between where they're at last year compared to this year, the changes in that division.
Well, let's do this systematically. I have stuff to say. So the Bills, if you put together the pre-flop season win totals on all opponents, let's do it that way, since we operate in the world of season win totals. The Bills have about the 10th easiest schedule in all of football when you do it that way. You know who has the single easiest schedule in all of football when you just look at adding up all season win totals of opponents collectively? Any idea?
I actually don't.
It's the Detroit Lions at 13 to 1.
Yeah.
Let me just give
checks out.
Let me give you a gander at the Detroit Lions schedule. In addition to, of course, playing Chicago, Green Bay, and Minnesota at home, their division opponents. Minnesota, emphasis on them. Here are their other home opponents. New England, which had a historically, epically easy schedule last year in their way to get to the Super Bowl. Their other home games, New Orleans, the Giants, the Jets, the Bucks, and the Titans. Away, besides Chicago, Green Bay, and Minnesota, Arizona, Miami, Atlanta, Buffalo, and Carolina. Detroit Lions 13 to 1, best bet on the board for me. Most regular season wins.
We said it last year, or heading out of last season. The Lions overs are going to be popular because of that last place schedule, and it makes sense. I get it. You just went through it. 13 to 1. I'll take a shot at that. I like the fewest wins value play even better using the same exercise. Fewest regular season wins. These are up at DraftKings, by the way. The odds have the Cardinals at plus 240, the Dolphins at plus 425, and then I would like to say everybody else, right? Jets plus 850, Raiders 9 to 1, everybody else double digits. Now, when you do that same exercise, aggregate season win totals of opponents, and you look to see who has the hardest schedule, that does track. Cardinals have the hardest, Dolphins have the second hardest. So I'm not going to argue with you if you say, hey, look, the Cardinals and Dolphins are going to not only suck bad, but they play a horrific schedule. Hey, you do you. But if you're asking me for what the best value play is long shot, any guess on this one? You're going to be surprised by this. Let's see.
Just by that exercise alone.
Titans, I'll just guess.
Panthers, 22 to 1. The Panthers, in addition to playing Atlanta, New Orleans, and Tampa at home, their ridiculously mediocre division opponents, here are their other home games. You listening here?
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore, Chicago, Cincinnati, Denver, Detroit, and Seattle. Good God.
Yeah, man.
Besides playing Atlanta, New Orleans, and Tampa Bay on the road, Philly, Pittsburgh, Green Bay, Minnesota, and Cleveland. I think, I hate to say it, as bad as the Cardinals and Dolphins are, that schedule's brutality. You do get your division opponents, though, so that does bank you. That does bank you a few wins. That's the problem with that, though. Right?
Yeah.
But
no, man.
It does not look easy after those games, though.
I think it's going to be at that number. That's probably a pretty easy sell for me. I mean, what was that Monday where we kind of did we were going through the win totals and we did the quick thought exercise of like, give me your 1 through 4 of the NFC South. Panthers, I'm not that confident in the Panthers. I really think there's a chance that they could be flirting with the bottom of that division. I know a lot of people are much higher on them than me. I still don't know how good Bryce Young is.
Let me just repeat these. Non-division home games. Baltimore, Chicago, Cincinnati, Denver, Detroit, and Seattle. Non-division away games. Philly, Green Bay, Pittsburgh. Then they do have Minnesota and Cleveland. So can they rack up enough? I guess what I'm saying is, yes, it is an easy-ish division.
Mm-hmm.
And by the easiest, I'm not saying any team sucks in that division, but none of them are great.
They're meh.
But if you don't wish this on any team, but there's a spectrum of things breaking your way in a season and things going against you. If they have a bad injury or two, this could go bad really quickly for the Panthers.
The other one I'll throw out there, it did the other day with the win total. Cleveland Browns, they're that much better than these other teams.